Hi there, and welcome to the second part of this tutorial. And you are coming with me. Yeah. And in this part, we will improve and upgrade the core of our grab mechanic by using a timer and a state machine. Create the basics for an IK setup that will guide our hands, touchy hands, right to the grab location. And in a separate video, we create some animations for our potato grabbers. Okay, let us begin. First we're going to open 3 blueprints. This first one will be the character we created. And here on the right side, you can click next to the animation blueprint thing, this folder icon, so you can quickly open the animation blueprint. And also, we are going to need our grab object blueprint. Double click this. And now we can quickly switch between these 3. And when we're in here, let me rename this point to grab point. In the third person character, there's one quick thing we can do. Under the touch sphere, scroll down and make a new event for the end overlap. Drag off the pin and search for the grab object BP. And when after the cast, we're just gonna set this variable to be empty. Sometimes you want to avoid using the event tick, especially when you're doing complicated calculations, like arrays and stuff. What we're doing here is no problem. Simple physics-based shouldn't have too much of a heavy impact on performance. Yet I want to change this a little bit. We're gonna use a timer. So you can right-click and search for set timer by event. Drag off this, and now we can make a new custom event. I'm gonna call this update grab. Okay. And set it to looping, and now you can set a time from which this update grab will be repeated. And then I'm gonna relink this stuff here. And then you make the connection like this, so after we initiate the grab, this timer will be started. Goodbye event tick. If we want to access our timer for further manipulation, we're gonna create and promote it to a variable. And I'm calling it grab timer. You can use it right here, for instance, if we want to stop the timer after we release the object. So it's not running in the background while we don't need it. So drag off the variable and you will find the stop timer node. And when we test this, you can see that it looks a little bit jagged. So maybe we should adjust the timing on the timer. So set it to 0.05 for a much smoother experience. And here you can use whatever value you want depending on what you're using it for. So maybe if you want to something that's very heavy to calculate, you want to have bigger steps. If you can afford that, and if we test it again, you can see it's smooth. And it is about time that you go to your Anim BP. And let me show you a quick shortcut so you don't get lost in the spooky forest of your content drawer. With the character blueprint selected, press Shift, Alt and R, and this will open the reference viewer. In here you can find the Anim BP, press Ctrl B or right click and browse to, and you're right here. And once you have your animation blueprint open, switch over to the event graph, and now we're going to create something very useful. Drag off this pin here, and then we're going to cast to our third person character. Promote this to a variable, and I call it a TPC for third person character. In the Anim graph, we will create a simple state machine for the right arm. And for those of you who don't know what a state machine is, I will try to explain it. So, suppose you're a dictator of a totalitarian state and please don't be that. Set the people free. And you can decide if the people should be happy or sad, or if they should jump or run. And they have absolutely no choice but to do what you say. And this is like a state machine. And within the states, you can set what kind of animation the mannequin should play, and he cannot defend himself. And within the transitions, you can set rules when he can change from one animation to another. So it's really like you can say, now you should be happy, and if this condition is met, you should run, and if this condition is met, you should stand. I hope it's not as bad for the mannequin, so please be a kind dictator. And the cool thing about the state machine is that you can transition from any state to any other. So you can very easily define how your character should be animated in any particular moment. The result of your dictatorship, aka the state machine, will be displayed as this node in the anim graph. And this you can use to further blend or do whatever in the anim graph. So how to apply this for our project? When we're right here with our layered blend, we can clip this, click right click and search for state machine. In our case, instead of controlling the whole body of the character, we're only going to control the right arm within the state machine. So you can call it the right arm state machine. Welcome to the right arm state machine. And within this right arm state machine, we are going to create 3 states. The first one will be idle. And you can drag off the idle state to create a new one. And within this state, we are going to use our blend space. So we will call it controlled by pawn, or by player. And then we're going to need a final state for the moment. And this will be linked like this. And this will be when the arm is controlled by IK. So call it accordingly. And now we need to set what's within the state and some transitions, how we can move between these states. Within the idle state, we are going to use a cached pose. Let me try to explain what a cached pose is. So suppose you are a crazy cook and you're, instead of cooking crystal meth, which is a problem anyways, you blend together animations. And once you're happy with a flavor of animation, you can store this animation in your fridge. And this is like a cache pose, so you can use it again at different locations in the animation blueprint. Now for our idle state, we can use a cache pose that already exists, thanks to the Unreal people, and it's called locomotion. And you see it here. It should be by default in the third person Anim BP, and we can access this by typing locomotion and just hook it up like this. In this here second state, we are going to insert our blend space that we created in the last episode. So you can cut it from the anim graph and just paste it right here, and we're already done for this. And now we're going to use a 2-bone IK node, and I'm going to spare you any further of these explanations. Basically, it's just point your arm or whatever bone at a thing, at a location, and use 2 bones to do that node. Click it, and then you can set which bone you want to use for the IK. We are going to use the hand_R. Also, check this box right here, maintain effector relative rotation, and change from component space to world space. And then you can connect these two. And see, now we can use a cached pose again. So you can right click and search for locomotion and connect these two. But this is a very needy node. It wants to know where the hand should point at, and you can set it up by pressing right click on here. And because we created the TPC, we can access the third person character, and we can go further into the current pickup, select the grab point and bind it to the world location. It is time to set up the rules, and they will go both ways, so you can drag from this state to this state and double click this to open it. In here we want to grab the TPC and we created a boolean, and we will use this as the rule, and it's called arm condition, which in hindsight is quite an unfortunate name. It sounds like he's got something wrong with his limbs. Nevertheless, we connect it like this, and this is the first rule done. Now for the other way around, we simply want to copy what we got in here and add a little extra spice. So just paste what we've got in here and drag off this, and you will find the not modificator, and this will just simply reverse the rule. Back outside at the Anim graph, we can now use our state machine and connect it with the layered blend per bone node. And the first part of our upgrade should be finished. You can test this now. And with our new setup, he's only using the arm when you're pressing the left mouse button, and otherwise it snaps back like a Swiss Army knife or something. And now for the IK. But what rules shall be applied at that state? Let's open this up, and we can modify our transition. We will use the TPC again, drag off the pin, and then you can search the current pickup object reference, and from here you will find the isValid node, and this way we can check if the current pickup is set inside the third person character blueprint, and if it is set, then we transition to the other state. Just like before, we can copy this and move it to the way back, paste it in here, and add the not modifier. And you're done. Now if he gets his dirty hands close to the grab object, it will snap automatically to the grab point, and then you can press the grab action that we configured last time, and you can see that his arm twists around, so this is something we can fix a little bit by unchecking allow twist in the 2-bone IK node. We have created this setup, and you can see the arm just switches to any grab point when it's close to anything grabbable. Now, with how it is right now, when you press the grab action, you can see he just drags the cube with him, and if you click again, then he stretches out the arm. So please let me know in the comments in which direction you would want this system to go. I mean, it could be that he drags the cube or that he holds a sword or anything. I'm open to your ideas. I just cannot do every idea that's around because that's just too much, but please let me know what you think, and I hope you are well. I'm wishing you a very good time and lots of fun creating your